Now, from the news team that's covering the Carolinas, this is Channel 9 Eyewitness News Saturday morning.
We're following breaking news this morning. We're learning new details after a man was shot and killed and found near a North Charlotte park. The information we just got from police. Plus, an investigation underway this morning after this deadly officer-involved shooting in West Charlotte. The new information we've learned about the man police killed. Plus, this morning, we're using Charlotte's only local radar to track rain and snow heading our way. Good morning, I'm Elsa Gillis.
And I'm meteorologist Vicki Graff.
And Vicki, it is going to be cold across the area, but not everyone's going to see that snow.
It is still winter. That cold air is here, and that's going to set the stage for some snow in the mountains and mainly just rain in Charlotte. But there will be a brief window where we could see some sleet and freezing rain tomorrow morning. So we already have winter weather advisories in effect for all these counties shaded in purple here. And the biggest threat for that wintry mix will be northwest of Charlotte. You can see the colder air is settling in. We're in the teens and 20s this morning. That cold front moved through and it's bringing us temperatures that are about 15 to 20 degrees colder than this time yesterday. If you're heading out for a walk, you might want to hold off until we start to thaw out just a little bit more. The pattern for tomorrow, we've got this system to the north that will pull in some much colder air, and then this system across the south. Both will come together, and that's going to bring us the setup for tomorrow where we could see snow in the mountains and a brief window for some ice, mainly sleet and freezing rain northwest of Charlotte tomorrow morning. For us here in the Charlotte area, just a rain event. But the timing for that will be, I'd say, before sunrise tomorrow, between, say, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning until 8, 9 o'clock. And really, the concern will be north of Charlotte, I'd say along the I-40 corridor, anywhere from Hickory, Shelby, on through Morganton as well. I'll be mapping out how much of this snow, ice, and rain we will see and how long the rain will stick around. That's all coming up in the next 10 minutes. Elsa?
Breaking overnight, police have identified the man found shot to death near a North Charlotte park. Police say they found Damian Mackins II dead yesterday morning near Newell Neighborhood Park, not far from 3 churches and Dorothy J. Vaughan Elementary School. This morning, we're asking police if they have any suspects. Also breaking this morning, a suspect has been arrested after police say he shot a woman in West Charlotte. Just before 7 last night, police say Dominique Gant was with 3 women in a car at the Walgreens parking lot on Freedom Drive. After an argument, police say Gant got out and fired a handgun into the car, hitting one woman in the leg. She was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. Gant faces several charges, including assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill. We're learning more information this morning about the man police shot and killed in West Charlotte yesterday. Investigators say Charlie Shoup had a knife and was threatening officers before the deadly shooting. We've learned Shoup has been arrested before, and police have been called to that apartment complex on Timberbrook Drive 7 times in the last 3 months. Eyewitness News reporter Glenn Counts is breaking down how this all happened.
Please stay back.
You can see the confrontation between first responders, police, and 27-year-old Charlie Shoup on this cell phone video.
We responded to an attempted suicide call.
Shoup is armed with a knife, and you can see it clearly. Firefighters try and calm him down. They are armed with a tool to protect themselves. When officers arrive, they too try to get Shoup to put down the knife. This witness did not want to be identified.
He charged at the police with like a knife or something in his hand. The police begged him to stop. He wouldn't stop. He chased him around the car.
You got blood all over.
Seconds later, the officer identified as 11-year veteran Daniel Flynn fires his weapon. We counted at least 9 shots.
The cop didn't want to shoot. He begged him to stop. He wouldn't stop.
Police have encountered Shoup before. He's been arrested on a couple of minor marijuana and 1 simple assault charge.
Get back, get back, get back!
To some witnesses, it was obvious that Shoup wanted police to take his life.
I mean, he literally ran up on him.
I know, I saw him. Yeah, I saw him. He wanted to die. He just said he wanted to die.
Glenn Counts, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
There are 2 investigations, a civil one to make sure no departmental policies were violated and a criminal one to make sure the law was not broken. As is standard in cases like this, Officer Flynn has been placed on paid administrative leave. Wells Fargo is facing another penalty. It's the biggest reprimand yet for the bank's breach of consumer trust. The Federal Reserve is freezing Wells Fargo's growth until it can prove that it has improved its internal controls. That means it cannot be involved in any corporate mergers or major transactions. Wells Fargo must also replace 3 board members by April and replace a 4th board member by the end of this year. The punishment was announced yesterday, Fed Chair Janet Yellen's last day at the central bank. Yellen stated that the Fed could not tolerate pervasive and persistent misconduct at any bank. Wells Fargo employees opened more than 3 million fake accounts to meet sales quotas. The bank is also accused of charging borrowers for auto insurance they did not want. Wells has also had to pay $185 million to regulators and settled a class action lawsuit for $142 million. Tax season is here, but this Charlotte tax preparer is locked up. Quandella Walker is accused of seeking more than $600,000 in false tax refunds. Federal charges suggest Walker knowingly used false income information and her own bank account to keep a portion of inflated tax refunds. Experts warn caution when hiring a tax preparer this year.
Be careful. Take your time. Pick the right CPA and pick one that's ethical.
Walker will be back in federal court next Wednesday. 7:05 now. A controversial GOP written memo by the House Intelligence Committee has been declassified by President Trump and made public. The president hopes this memo will discredit top officials investigating him, showing bias in the Russia investigation. ABC's Lana Zach is breaking down all the details.
The official word from the White House is that President Trump is not currently considering firing Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. But when asked by reporters, President Trump would not say the same.
Do you think you're more likely to fire Rosenstein? Do you still have confidence in him after reading the memo?
You figure that one out.
Democrats are now warning that if the president were to use a controversial Republican-written memo from the House Intelligence Committee as justification for firing Rosenstein or special counsel Robert Mueller, that it would spark a constitutional crisis. On CNN, ranking member of the Intelligence Committee Adam Schiff said this partisan memo cherry-picks information.
It's really a completely reckless abuse of the classification process.
And President Trump's own FBI director told the president the memo contains inaccurate information, but the president decided to release it anyway.
I think it's terrible. You want to know the truth? I think it's a disgrace, what's going on in this country.
The memo argues that the FBI and the Department of Justice used information from Christopher Steele's unsubstantiated dossier to renew a FISA surveillance warrant against Trump campaign advisor Carter Page without disclosing the political funding behind the dossier. Here's Chairman Devin Nunes on Fox.
They got a warrant on someone in the Trump campaign using opposition research paid for by the Democratic Party and the Hillary Clinton campaign. That's what this is about, and it's wrong.
Lana Zach, ABC News, Washington.
Thousands of people who drive a stretch of Carowinds Boulevard near I-77 are now driving on Detective Mike Doty Memorial Highway. His family, friends, and those who served alongside of him honored him as the highway was dedicated yesterday. A longtime friend told us he only wishes this tribute wasn't necessary.
It's nice what they're doing, and it's a great thing. But we need to celebrate people's lives when they're living, so their families can appreciate it and not be in this kind of a situation.
2 of the 3 other officers who were shot that night, Kyle Cummings and Buddy Brown, were also there for the dedication. We've posted more video of how Detective Doty was honored yesterday on WSOCTV.com. You can see it all inside this story on the homepage. Happening today in Iredell County, more than 100 people will learn how to protect themselves in church. The sheriff has trained dozens of churches through a Faith Watch program over the past 3 years. Demand is so high, officers are holding a condensed 4-hour seminar. They'll teach community members how to protect themselves from active shooters and in other emergencies. Also happening today, the new chairman of the Federal Reserve will begin his 4-year term. President Trump appointed Jerome Powell to the position. The Senate confirmed his nomination last month. Powell takes over for Janet Yellen, who was the first woman to hold the seat. Powell will be officially sworn in as chairman on Monday. Uptown Charlotte's skyline will be changing again soon. A developer plans to build a new tower at the corner of Graham and West Trade Streets. Here's a look at the project. It includes a 14-story high-rise tower with retail at the bottom. There will be a 6-story apartment building with flats built behind it. After nearly 2 years, work is nearly complete on Gastonia's new Hilton Garden Inn. It's located off the Cox Road exit on I-85. The 119-room hotel is set to open in mid-August. It will be the first new hotel in the county since 2010. This deadly flu season is so severe it is now breaking records, and now it's claimed even more young lives. According to new information released by the CDC, there have been more hospitalizations during this flu season than ever before. And even scarier, we have weeks to go before the danger passes. The CDC says 16 more children have died from the flu just this week. Tragically, that means 53 children have died since October. Half of them didn't have any underlying problems, meaning they had been perfectly healthy. 80% of them were not vaccinated, but many have wondered if the vaccine is even effective. It will be weeks before the CDC knows for sure.
We continue to recommend the flu vaccine. Even though we know most flu vaccines have low effectiveness against H3N2 viruses, effectiveness against other flu viruses is better.
95 people have died from the flu in North Carolina this season. The Gaston County Health Department confirms at least 3 of those deaths happened there. 84 people have died in South Carolina. The acting director of the CDC said researchers are working on a universal vaccine. She didn't say when it would be available to the public, but said there has been some promising research on it. Super Bowl excitement has taken over Minneapolis. More than 1 million people are expected by game day. The Patriots are in their record 10th Super Bowl. The Eagles are trying to win their first Lombardi trophy. This could be the coldest Super Bowl in history with wind chills well below 0. Ooh. Taking a live look outside right now from our Charlotte cam. The sun has come up on this Saturday morning. Meteorologist Vicki Graff has an update on your forecast from Severe Weather Center 9.
And it's cold here, not quite as cold or windy like they're dealing with in Minnesota, but we are dealing with a little bit of a breeze right now. That wind that was coming in strong yesterday, it's back down. It's still enough that's making it feel a little bit cooler. We're 23 in Charlotte, 17 in Lincolnton, 21 in Rockingham, and 23 in Chester. If you're going to be out early on, make sure you grab that jacket. It feels like 19 in Charlotte, 14 in Statesville, and 16 in Chester. We will see a lot of sunshine early on. Clouds thicken up later today, highs in the mid-40s. I'll be pinpointing the time frame for when that wintry weather will be pushing through. That's coming up in the next 10 minutes. Elsa?
HIV cases skyrocketing in Mecklenburg County. At 7:45, the reason the county is not using a life-saving program that could save taxpayers thousands. A mother in Rock Hill outraged after finding out her son was able to leave school unnoticed.
This is the life of my child.
At 7:30, the response she got from the school as to how this happened. And chaos erupting in a Michigan courtroom. A father lunging at former USA Gymnastics Dr. Larry Nassar, trying to attack him. Next, the one thing he said put him over the edge, prompting the attack.